Okay, welcome to this lesson on simple linear regression. This is a reminder of what the formula is for simple linear regression. It looks like this in the end. Y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 times x plus epsilon. Beta 0 again is the intercept term or the constant. Beta 1 is the slope or the weight that's being multiplied by the input variable. And this little epsilon is a small error term that's added to the predictive equation for the simple linear regression formula. The beta 1 is just going to be the sum of the xi value minus its mean times the yi value minus the mean for those yi's, all divided by xi minus x, the mean of x squared. And so we're going to take the sum of all these things. Then once we have that, we can just pretty much plug in the rest of the information. Take the mean of y minus beta 1 times x bar that gives us beta 0, and we're going to put all this back into the formula. So let's get started. The data that we're working with is a little sample data where x is going to be our years of experience and y is going to be the income. The first thing that we're going to focus on is calculating our x bar. And to calculate the x bar, that's just the average. And so our x bar is going to be equal to adding all of these up and dividing them by the total number. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. Here, the 12 represents 12 years of education, and its outcome is 40 for the income. 14 for education, 50 for the income, and so forth. So for our average value for years of education, that's equal to 12 plus 14 plus 16 plus 18 plus 10. We're going to take that divided by 5. And the way I'm adding it up, you can use a calculator or whatever you want to use. I just try to do the fast math or easy math on it. We have 14 plus 16, that's 30. And 12 plus 18 is also 30. Plus 10 more, that makes that 70. So 30 plus 30 is 60, plus 10 is 70, divided by 5. And so for this one, 5 will go into 70. 10 times, that makes it 50. So that's 50. And 20 more, which is 4. So we have x bar is equal to 14. Okay. And if we multiply it out, we have, 14 times 5 will give you 70. So for our x bar, our average years of education is 14 years. Just the average years of education for this group of records for people. Now let's calculate y bar. Y bar, we do it the same way. We're just going to add up the income and divide it by the total number of incomes. We have 40 plus 50 plus 60 plus 70 plus 35. So here we have 40 plus 50 plus 60 plus 70 plus 35 divided by 5. And so here, that's what we have here. 60 and 40 together, that makes for 100. We have 70 and 35, or 70 and 50 together. With those two, 70 and 50 together gives us 120. So we have 220 plus the 35, which is 255. So we have 255 divided by 5. 5 will go in 25 5 times, and this will go into 5 once. So here you have y bar is equal to 51. Okay, so that's what we have. So these are things we're going to keep. We're going to hold on to our y bar, and we want to keep this x bar as well. And we're going to start working on our equation. So the equation says you take every one of your x's and you're going to subtract it for x bar, and every one of your y's you're going to subtract it from y bar. I'm going to try to make the calculations a little easy. So what we're going to do here is to create a little table, a t-table, like what we had before. I'm going to put this off to the side so we can remember where x bar and our y bar are. So I'm going to just take this xi minus x bar. Xi minus x bar. That's going to be one line. And we have our yi minus our y bar. That'll be another line. And what's nice is that we can use the information from our table to fill out this whole line here. So it's 12, 14, 16. So this entire thing is 12, 14, 16, 18, and 10. Remember your X bar. The X bar was 14. That was our value, which was 14 here for X bar. So where it says X bar, we put our 14 minus 14 all the way down. This minus sign is coming from the formula. Minus 14, minus 14. And this ends up, do this here, we add them on up. This is minus 2. This is 0. This is a positive 2. This is a positive 4. And this is a negative 4. Okay. And the equation, we'll get back to the equation. So this is what we have for this part. We have our yi minus y bar. We'll do the same thing for that. Remember that this is 40, 50, 60, 70, and so forth. And so what we're going to do is put in 40, 50, 60, 70, and our 35. And we're going to subtract it from the average income. Each one of the incomes, we're going to subtract it from the average income, which is 51 for the average. So 51 is the average income. We're going to take that and do a subtraction. This minus 51. Okay. Here we know we have an 11. That's a negative 11. Here, this is our minus 1. And we have 9 for this one. This one is, this looks like 19 for this one. And then we have, what is that? That's 15 plus one more. This looks like 16. And so here, this is a negative 16, because the 51 is larger. Here, this is a positive. This one is positive. This one's a negative, and this one's negative. Okay. And so the equation says you want to take these two things. The numerator for the equation is to multiply these two things, right? That's what the numerator says to do. And so that's what the first part is. So when we take our equation for beta 0 is xi minus x bar times our yi minus y bar. Okay. So we got to multiply those, and you sum them up after you multiply. Okay. So our multiplication then for these things would be 22. How can we do this? Make it nice and neat. Well, we have minus 2 times our negative 11. And so that gives us our positive 22. So what this becomes is 22. This is 0. So 0 times minus 1 is 0. Plus 2 times 9, which is 18. Plus 4 times 9, which is 80 minus 4, which is 76. Plus our minus 4 times our minus 16 is positive, that's 64. Okay. And we take that, and so we have 22 and 18. That's basically 40 here. So this here is 40. And we have a 6 and a 10. So we have 130 plus 10 more, which is 140. Okay. That's what 76 and 64 are. So that's actually 180. So this top piece is equal to 180. So here, this is 180. Let's make it 180. Let's save all of that. That's 180. All right. And the bottom for our beta 1, just as a reminder what the equation looks like, we need to now, we did the first part, so we need to work on this bottom part, which is just the square of this one. So the bottom is the sum of our xi minus x bar squared. From I is equal to 1 to n, I is equal to 1 to n. N happens to be 5 records. So here, xi minus x bar, this is equal to 4, because minus 2 squared is 4. 0 squared is just 0, so we're going to ignore that one. Plus 2 squared, which is 4. Plus 4 squared is 16. Plus minus 4 squared is also 16. And so again, 4 and 16, that's 20. 4 and 16 is 20, so this is equal to 40. So this is 40. So our beta 0, our beta 1 is actually equal to 180 divided by 40. 180 divided by 40 is 18 over 4, which is 9 over 2, or 4.5. So our x bar, our beta 1, is equal to 4.5. So we're halfway there. The next thing we need to do is just do the calculation for beta 0, which is y bar minus beta 1, which we found, times x bar. And so we have all of those things to calculate this one. So now we know that our beta 0 our y bar was 51. So you put our 51 here. That's our y bar. And our beta is minus beta 1. And our beta 1 was equal to 4.5 times our x bar, which is 14. That's our equation here, x bar. Okay. This is times 14. Okay. Well, this is great. So here I'm just multiplying. And the way I multiply, if you can use a calculator for sure, but I'm using the distributive property. This is 10 plus 2 plus 2. That's what 14 is. 10 plus 2 is 12 plus 2 more. And so I can just multiply. 4.5 times 10 is 45. 4.5 times 2 is 9. So these two together, we know are 18. This is 45 plus 18. You can borrow from this one to make it an easy math. So now it's 20 plus 43, which is equal to 63. And so that's what that part is. So we take this, so it's 51 minus 63. That's what all this is. That's equal to beta 0. So 51 minus 63, that's all of this math here, amounts to this stuff here. And so 51 minus 63 is beta 0. And so in that situation, this is 12. And so here we have our beta 0 is equal to negative 12. Okay. Now we have our equation. Our equation just required that we knew what beta 0 is, what beta 1 is, and that we can have our equation. So we know that our beta 0 is equal to minus 12, and that our beta 1 is equal to 4.5. That's an error term, or epsilon. So that's our final equation. There you go. Minus 12 plus 4.5x. And we have some sort of small error term. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this. The next thing that we'll end up doing is to do this using Python, create our own function for calculating simple linear regression. And we'll also talk about this error part too, and looking at some error equations, or loss functions, or cost functions. All right, thank you for joining today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. It's really great motivation to keep me making videos. I want to help folks who are entering the field of analytics and just basically do knowledge sharing. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. And until next time, be well.